Hi, you're muted.
Thank you very much, because I was about to start
There she
talking. How
is.
are you? Good
Oh my
morning.
gosh. Your
Happy
hair looks so
Monday.
cute.
Oh, thank
I feel
you.
like I haven't seen it like natural in a while and it's like very Nicole.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, in case you can't tell, I am not at home. I am out. So, I'm hoping that the internet is stable enough to do this. So, if we have problems, just let me know. Sound good?
Okay. What are we gonna
Perfect.
do? You gonna go back home if we have problems?
I don't know. Maybe I'll shut off my video to save
I'm
bandwidth,
just
or
teasing.
I don't know. Maybe that was my way of warning you that you might be a solo
Yeah.
host today.
Just feel a little sassy this morning.
That's all good. Does that mean you had a good and restful weekend?
No, never. Good, yes. Restful, absolutely not.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, we are super happy to be here. It looks like we are just beaming with all kinds of energy this morning. It is Monday. So, welcome to Mindset Monday, where independent patient advocates like us gather together for positivity and inspiration to kickstart our week. So, I love this because we have a really good quote today. Kayla, what is our quote today?
Yes, I was so excited for it. Our quote today comes from Steve Jobs, and I know who that person is. And it's don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice.
Mm-mm-mm.
Uh huh.
Right? So, I think this is such a timely topic, especially for me personally, where the world gets really loud and it gets really hard for me to stay focused on my what do we call that? Intuition,
Mm hmm.
right? That intuition. I think that's what we're really talking about today. So I would love to hear your immediate thoughts on this, Kayla. Good morning, everybody. Listen, drop in the chat where you're at. We can't see who you are. So drop in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from and how your weekend was. Kayla,
Well,
what do you
I
think?
have to say, you haven't shared with us where you're tuning in from, Nicole.
Oh, you know what? You're so right. So my husband called me Friday morning and said, "Hey, I can be in Indianapolis for the weekend. Want to meet me?" And so I did. So
Oh my
that's where
God,
I'm at.
that's so cute.
Yeah. So we had dinner with the kids last night, and
Aw.
so I stayed until this morning. And after this, I'll be headed back to Michigan. So thank you for calling me out on that, guys. That's where I'm at.
That's fun. Also, appreciate like the beauty and flexibility in the life that you've set up, running your own business that you can just go do that. I love that.
Right? It really is. It's one of those moments that I got really, really grateful. So for sure.
And that wouldn't be possible if you let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own voice. Because let's be honest, starting your own business, especially in an industry that's relatively unknown, is not for the faint of heart. And you like have to, I don't know about you, anyways, but for me, like I have had to absolutely put on the I'm gonna say blinders, but really it really is more like earplugs
Right?
for all the naysayers to a
Yeah.
point because some of them, particularly the ones who get really I don't it's not even necessarily with bad intent, but you come across those people who are like, "Oh, you can't do that." Those ones, I listen to those ones because those are the people that make me go, shut up and watch me. Like the
Oh my
minute
gosh.
you tell me I can't
Yes.
do something, you have lit my fire.
Kayla, so I have to tell you my dad's phrase for this, and I may have shared this before, but exactly what you said, my dad's phrase, and I say this all the time, hide and watch. When somebody
Yeah.
tells me that, I'm like, hide and watch because it's about to happen, just so you know.
That's way better than what comes to my mind. I grew up in the world of hold my beer and watch this. So,
Oh, yes.
but I like that one better.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I want to hear some other folks talk about. So drop in the comments, let us know what are some things that happened to you that kind of, you know, get noisy. So for me, and Kayla said it too, is, and I'm not in full transparency. Friday, when this happened, it wasn't like all of a sudden, oh, I'm super grateful that I can drop everything and go. That's not exactly how that went. It went a little bit more like, gee, I really want to do that, but I have this and this and this and this and this that I need to do and get done. So I probably shouldn't go.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't listen to that.
Right? And this is why I think this is a perfect example of this quote, right? Because that was that was exactly some of the things that were going on around me. I was supposed to do some extra work. I was supposed to, I mean, there was just a lot of stuff, right? I mean, come on, it's life and I run a business and all of the things.
Yeah.
And it was Friday morning, so I pretty much had the weekend planned on what I was going to do and how it was going to go. So it was very much a pattern interrupt, right? That actually took some time and some self awareness to make sure that I could get realigned and get to the gratitude of being able
Yeah.
to rearrange my schedule.
Oh my God, Nicole, there is like so many lessons to unpack in the story that you told just now. Number one, the power of strategic planning. You knew what you
Mm,
needed to get done. And by knowing what needs to get done and what would be nice to get done, then you can shuffle around and reprioritize. You
yes.
had the mental flexibility to let go of your predetermined agenda and
Hmm.
adjust by keeping in mind that your ultimate priorities are your family over your
Right.
business, and your business and your life is built to support that,
Right.
and letting go of any of the judgment of the shoulding on yourself.
Which is a real thing, you guys,
Yeah.
which is a real thing. Like if you aren't doing that and having to readjust, I want to know more about what you're doing. Like seriously, if that is not happening to you and you're not having to readjust from that, um, please get with me
Hard
and teach
truths,
me more.
Nicole. I'm gonna say, if somebody identifies with the statement that you just said, it's not about what they are doing. It's probably what they're not doing.
Oh, oh, Kayla, gold, right?
Sorry if that hits somebody hard. I
Gold.
don't. I mean it
No,
from
I love
love,
it.
truly.
That's right. That's right.
But
Because we're
if
all
you
about truth
don't
here.
feel like you're constantly juggling and learning to juggle more, I'm not sure that you're getting as much from life as you could be.
Oh, girl, that is gold. Listen, if you just heard that, I want you to, like, if you're listening to the recording, you need to back up about 15 seconds and listen to that again. Okay. Because that was gold right there. I love it. I love
And
it.
it's
Yeah.
like it's not about leaning into the hustle culture, and it's not busy for the
No,
sake of being busy. But
no.
I feel like as a whole, as a society, we have been kind of fed this lie about, like, it seems like there's a goal of making things easy, and the more intense, not difficult, but intense I have made my life with my business and my kids and my husband, and now I've layered on, like, really physically taking care of my body, and like my calendar looks
Yeah.
insane. And like I have my life planned out and scheduled,
Yes.
which on the outside like tends to sound like people kind of back away from that. But that structure allows me to accomplish in all those
Yes.
areas of my life. And I go to bed every night feeling like, wow, what a well lived day. Like I took that day and I squeezed the value out of it. And
Every,
I love that feeling. And that
I love
is
this.
what I truly passionately believe people should be aiming for.
Amen. I cannot agree more. I was just running through as you were talking because I was like, "Ooh, I think we're getting into some of the meat and potatoes of the notes that I created because I'm all about the notes." Um anyway, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we talked about is that this inner voice, right? This inner intuition, it it really is our compass for life. And
Hmm.
we got to protect it. And I love the concept of being responsible for this inner compass and being responsible for protecting it, it makes so many of these external choices a little bit easier for me, right? Because it comes from this place of I'm charged with protecting this compass of mine that is directing my life. And just like you said on Friday, it got kind of wonky there for a minute, right? Like it was like, "Ah, I don't want to, like, this is disrupting everything and I just can't do it." And it took me a few minutes to take a deep breath and go, wait a minute. What is my purpose? Where is my, you know, compass leading me? It's leading me to my family, to my husband, to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I need to protect that. So, you know, it's that moment of, I don't know, it just made it a little bit easier for me to
Mm-hmm.
start making this, because it really brings to fruition this question: am I making decisions based on alignment with my soul, or am I making decisions based on approval? And whose approval? Like, I don't even want
Or
to
the
go that
things
far,
that
but
like the ego is spewing,
yeah.
fear,
Oh, yeah.
scarcity, all of
Yeah.
staying away from the unknown. And the problem, like we've talked about before, is that your inner intuition, your compass, speaks with a much softer voice than the toddler of the ego brain who just wants ice cream for dinner. And so
Right.
it could be really easy
Yes.
to go like, no, I have all this planned, I need to do this, I need to do that. And it can, in the moment, it can be tricky to identify where is that,
Where's
what
it
voice
coming
is
from?
that coming from. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So like, proud of you for being able to identify that all of that immediate resistance was from the ego brain, the primal brain that is wired to keep us in a place of comfort, because comfort equals
Yes.
safety in a prehistoric sense. But it
Right.
doesn't, that wiring doesn't serve us as much in modern day when we're not, dealing with saber-toothed tigers.
Right, exactly. I love that you brought this up because I think it brings us back to this whole ego versus intuition conversation that I don't, I think we need to continue to visit it because it does get very confusing. Like, is it my ego speaking? Is it my intuition speaking? What is happening here? And I did write down a couple of things that I wanted to share about, for me, what that looks like and feels like. So, for me, ego sounds like, it screams, it's very loud. Like, oh my god, you just ruined my day. That's
Very
probably ego for me.
reactionary.
Yes, that is probably my ego, whereas my intuition is whispers. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
but what's right in your soul? Like, very calm. I almost think like a yoga instructor's voice is kind of what
Yeah.
it feels and sounds like in my mind, right? And so that is really, for me, one of the easiest ways for me to tell the difference is the urgency versus the calm.
Yeah, exactly.
Urgency
And
is
like
more,
really
yeah,
feeling, like taking the pause, which first of all, having the awareness to pause and like take inventory, that's the first skill. That's a challenge all in and of itself. That one took me years.
right. It is.
But you can also pause and like each sets of those thoughts, how does it feel in your body? Because one of those sets of thoughts is gonna get you feeling kind of amped up, a little bit of that like fight or flight, and that's the ego. And the other one of
Mhm.
those sets of thoughts is gonna make you feel, like I can take a breath with this,
Right.
and that's the intuition.
Right. Yes. Yes, I love that. I love that. The question that I wrote down here is this fear or is this inner knowing? And it does
Mm-hmm.
all start with this pause. And it's really interesting. How do you implement the pause? Like, what is that? I mean, for me, it really ends up, I'm trying to think of, how do I know that I need to pause? I don't always know. I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
always
I mean,
know.
that's the truth. And that's where you start. Like, it starts with awareness. And you don't wake up one day and have awareness in the moment that you need to pause. So it starts with awareness after the fact. Sometimes it's awareness hours after the fact. That's where I started. It would be awareness like hours after I had an argument with my husband. I would go, if I had
Hmm.
paused there. But then hours became half an hour,
Half an
became
hour.
10 minutes, 5 minutes. Now it's 5 seconds sometimes. And a lot of
Yes.
times I've got that awareness to where I can feel it right. I feel it come up and I'm like,
Good.
I need to pause.
Ah,
That
love
literally
that.
took years though for me
Yes.
to break out of that reactionary pattern, which that's how I was raised. I didn't even think I heard the word mindfulness until I was like 25. So you're talking like decades of neural pathways that you're trying to rewire to cross the street at a different place. I mean, you got to have grace with yourself. It takes time, but
Yes.
like, if you're starting to notice it, congrats, you're on the right track. Just keep going with that.
Yes.
It'll get easier, it'll get closer, it'll get sooner, and before you know it, it'll actually be in the moment.
Right. Right. And I think it's also important to say, don't expect that it will always be in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
even like, right? I mean, because even well practiced, well self-aware, like highly self-aware folks still have moments where it takes a little bit longer for the pause to come in. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Do you have a belly button? Do you have a belly
Yeah,
button? Okay, so
right.
you're not going to get it right every time.
That's right.
Give yourself
That's
some
right.
grace and expect the
Yes.
mess ups and just learn from them.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And like I said, life is always about like I think life is this journey, right? And so I want to be a little bit better than I was yesterday, and that if in any area. And so if that happens, then kudos, good day, right? I'm a little bit better than
Yes.
I was yesterday, and
Yeah.
that's all that I can. It's all that I can hope for.
Either
And
you got a little better or you learned a little more.
there you
Those are
go.
the
I love
if
this.
you look at it with those are the only two outcomes, you're winning.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I love it. 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 So I'm trying to think, what are the other things I wanted to kind of talk about um how to silence the noise. Like, what are some things that you do? I'll start. Here are some things that I have done to kind of minimize some of the external noise in my life. One is I don't watch a lot of television. Like
Facts right there.
television, like that's just not. I can't even tell you it years because I feel like television promotes the noise of our world,
Mhm.
and
It
gives me
normalizes it.
yeah, and it gives me this weird sense of reality. I think it skews my sense of reality
Well,
for
truly, I
me.
mean, it's the opposite of mindfulness. Like part of the idea of mindfulness is like, or I should say, the idea behind meditation, which helps you to connect with and hear your inner intuitive voice. Like in meditation, you're literally the whole goal is to just focus on your inner world and block out the outer world so you can really hear yourself.
Yes.
Consuming media is exactly the opposite. And it's often driven by this discomfort of being alone with one's thoughts. And so you
Uh,
go and consume other people's thoughts in place of your own. Truly.
ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Which,
I
I
mean,
mean, don't get
it
me
is
wrong,
true.
like I like a sitcom at the end of the night, but
Sure.
it's also just like with everything else, it comes down to the intention. Like at that point, I'm intentionally giving myself 20 minutes to, laugh at something dumb that somebody like I'm choosing to put in front of me versus just totally zoning out and going down a scroll hole to
Yes.
disassociate with reality for a few minutes. Those are two very different
Right.
scenarios.
Very different. Very different. I agree. It's not that I don't watch anything. It's that I'm intention. Ooh, right. Here it is. The word intentionality. One of our big
Yeah.
pillars here at Mindset Mondays. It's that I'm intentional with how I utilize media, and that's where the key lies for so many things in life, right? Is the intentionality behind it, which is another topic for another day. So come back and we'll talk about intentionality with you, more on that. But I think that that's one of the things that I do to kind of quiet my mind. The other thing that I like to do is just took this up about a year and a half ago, is some early morning Pilates, and some yoga stretching. Like that has been really good for my mind. Um, so I would love to hear what some other folks are doing to quiet the noise of your world. What are some things that you do? You can drop it in the chat while Kayla tells us what she does.
Yeah, well, I actually, if it's okay, I wanted to go slightly different direction. I know because I had some other thoughts around this quote I
Hmm.
wanted to share. So, like,
Oh,
don't
sure.
let
Go right
the
ahead.
noise of others' opinions drown out your inner voice. I want to put a qualifier here that, especially if you're in the early stages of building your business, I think this quote can be confusing because if you've never built a business before, if you're
Yeah.
wise, you're seeking out support for how to do that. And
Yes.
which, of course, comes with other people's opinions, thoughts,
Opinions.
recommendations, etc. But tell me if you can identify with this. You're seeking out people's opinions, but you're also being bombarded with unsolicited advice.
Mm.
Some of it good, some of it less than. So I think an important part in that phase of the journey with relation to this is check the source. Because there's going to be people all around you, especially, your
Yes.
closest family and friends who have have your good want the best for you.
Your
That's what it
best
is.
in
Yeah. They
best intentions.
have the best intentions, but that doesn't mean that they're coming from a place of mindfulness and nervous system regulation and being able to differentiate the difference between the ego and the intuition. Let's be
Mhm.
honest, most
Right.
people are walking around not in a state of mindfulness and just spewing their thoughts and self limiting beliefs and fear based positions onto you. Because when you jump out, I don't know if anybody else had this experience, but when you jump out and say, I'm going to start my own business, oftentimes the people
Oh,
around you
geez.
get scared for you.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, yes,
And
yes,
it
yes, yes.
doesn't mean that they're not being supportive. In their minds, it's the most supportive thing they can do is give you a reality check. But guess what? Their reality doesn't need to be yours. Just because
That's right.
they know they don't have what it takes to build a successful business doesn't mean that
Doesn't mean
you don't. So say, thank you. I appreciate that. I love you too. And put the earplugs back in and go talk to somebody
yes.
who is in alignment and who has walked the path and can actually give you good feedback, advice, suggestions. See Nicole on Wednesdays.
Right. Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because it is so easy to get scared. Now, I will say, I want to comment on this, Kayla. I want to say that I think that that is very common. I experienced it. I know you experienced it. And for us, we kind of leveraged that into our superpower and said, well, hang out and watch. Um, but it's not uncommon for that to happen. And here's what I want to say. Remember, one of the things that I said earlier is that this intuition that we have is our inner compass for our life. Okay. And we have to protect it. And so I think it's really important early on to say, and I did this myself. I'll be interested to hear if Kayla did as well. But some of these folks that I love very dearly, who were the most skeptical and afraid for me, and it was the best support that they could give me, I did limit my conversations around my business.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And it had nothing to do with how much I cared about them and loved them and all of the things. It had everything to do with I have to protect my inner compass, and I cannot be bombarded with the fear and the overwhelm, because there's enough there already, right? Like, because
Oh
legit,
yeah.
like, it is scary. So I just want to kind of clarify that and amp up. So it's okay. So just because if you feel like you can't talk about your newly started business with somebody that you love very deeply, just know that that's okay. And it can be a topic that's not, that's kind of off limits for a period of time. We're just not going to talk about that for a little bit. And then so that you can keep your mind right, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
hard. This mindfulness work is hard. It's not easy. And so limiting those conversations might be helpful.
Or if it's helpful for you, if you're feeling a little bit more spicy like I do
Right.
sometimes, I'll share back the
Yeah.
feedback. Thank you. I appreciate your concern. I hear it. However, I believe in myself and my capabilities more than I believe in your fear.
Love it.
So we're not going
Look,
to talk about that anymore.
Sarah's talking. I know, right? Look, I had to share this comment from Sarah in the chat. She's like, these are the things that she feels that are working to kind of quiet the noise. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Meditation, yoga, mantras, inspirational quotes, surrounding yourself with the right people. Go, girl, go. That is
Yes.
it. I love it. I love it. All right, Kayla, what was one of the other things? You said there were a couple of things that you wanted to make sure we got to, and I know we're running down on time. So
I mean, that was the big piece is like before you take a piece of feedback or advice, like check the source.
oh no, you okay? Take a drink of water.
I did, and it
Some
made it
water, girl.
worse.
Oh no, that's terrible. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's see. I'm looking here through my notes. Did we cover everything that I wanted to do?
But
I
they
just had
say that like you are the sum of the five people that you're around the most.
yes.
So make sure it's the five people who want what you want, believe what you believe, are heading in a direction that you are heading. Because if you're surrounding yourself with people who think you're great, but also think that this is crazy, you're going to start thinking that too. And you're going to take away your own power.
For sure. I
I
love
mean,
that. Surrounding myself with the right
I will never be able to thank and appreciate and repay my husband enough for his unwavering belief in me.
people. I love that.
He has never once said, "Babe, I don't think you can do this." He's just kept saying, "Just tell me what I need to do to make this work." And
I
I mean,
love
you
it.
couldn't how could
Couldn't
you
ask for
can
more.
ask for more? Like
No.
the only thing I could ask for more is if there was more than just him in that place, but that was being greedy. That's why I show up
That's
here.
right.
Literally, guys,
Right?
this started because I said to Nicole, I was like, I feel like this is something that I
Yeah.
need to start my work week off right. And if I need it, I wonder if other people do too.
Right? Right?
Sometimes
And
you
that's
gotta be the village that you wish was there, right?
oh my gosh, there's so much truth. I think we could do a whole Mindset Monday on that. Like literally just on that. I mean, that's how the circle started. That's how this Mindset Monday started. That's how anyway, amazing things start. Okay, so our mindset challenge of the week. What is our challenge? I wrote down here, I'm interested to know one decision that you've made or you want to make this week based on your inner voice, not outside opinions. Like, what is the thing you're struggling with this week? Because let's kind of help each other out with this and see if we can, help each other listen to that quiet voice. That's what I wanted to see. What about you, Kayla? Any challenges or thoughts or as we
I
wind this
think it's
down?
just starting to cultivate some awareness about, the people around you and what they're saying. Like, are they qualified to give you advice? Because actually, I want to go back to talking about my husband for just a second. And I shared how I have his unwavering support and belief. We also do not talk about the nuts and bolts of my business because anytime that I talk about like a new approach, a new strategy, a new thing that I'm thinking about, he out of concern. He's like, I don't get it. Do you think you're getting distracted? Like all of the fear-based stuff comes out. So I'm like, babe, it's fine. Like we've already discussed, he dabbled with starting a business and figured out quite quickly, like that was not the shoe that fits him. And so I don't pull his opinions into my business, because if I did, I wouldn't have one. It's just he's not qualified to give me that specific feedback and critique. So, and we've gotten to a place where he respects that and understands that. So now, like, I'll give him updates and tell him what's going on, but I don't ask for his input. And he loves me enough that like that works for us. But I think that's been a big piece. And even for mentors that you do have in your life, typically there's not one person who is qualified to give you feedback or expertise on everything. I have an instance where I have a mentor in my world who's been very helpful with so many things, but was trying to give me some marketing feedback with no marketing background other than just the kind of periphery stuff what he does. And I like smiled and nodded very nicely. And I was like, take that and throw it out, after I walked out of the office, because I have a marketing expert in my corner and what she says couldn't be more different from what he says. So I'm going to take that statement. Does it meet the qualifications? No. Okay. And that's okay. Like people, he was trying to help. It was with the good intention. It's up to me to filter it and sort it into a category and decide if it's going to be helpful to keep in there or bless and release.
Right. And all of this has to do with your mission, your vision, your compass, your journey, and lots of things. And I just want to say lots of things that work for other people. Just because they work for them doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, right?
Yeah.
So early on, I think it's really important that we try different things and only try the things that sit well with our soul, like when we're
And
in our
don't try to
quiet.
force something that worked for somebody else.
No.
Ladies,
Oh,
ladies,
right.
have you gone wedding dress shopping?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that dress that looks great on that model and your friend there and that
Yes.
mannequin can look absolutely awful on you. And it doesn't mean anything about you. And it doesn't mean anything about that dress. You
That's
just
right.
have to try on a lot of
Right.
dresses.
That's right. And there's a lot of that in business. Holy smokes. Like so much of that. Look, we gotta shut this down. This is a great conversation. We have had a wonderful time. I'm super excited to hear about, what's going on in your world. Let's get together and see if we can help quiet some noise so you can make a better choice for yourself, for your family, for your business, whatever it is that you're getting lots of noise and static. Let's talk about it, and let's get you some quiet space so that you can better align your journey with your work. So all right, any last minute things here, Kayla? Anything at all?
You summed it up good. You put the bow on
All
there.
right.
Well, let them go.
All right, guys, have a great week. Join us on Wednesday. We're talking about referrals, how to get them, how to make them, how to receive them, how to move the whole circle round and round against advocates and back and forth. That's why we call it the circle. So join us for the circle. We're going to talk about referrals. All right, have a great week, guys.
Bye-bye.